Can We Keep Him? By Pastel Glitter Pen. Chapter 13, Quirk Analysis. Hi everyone, it's Tempe. Before we get started, I just wanted to let everyone know that there are a couple of warnings with this fanfiction. The warnings are rape/non-con and underage. They are referred to a lot, but I will let you know when they're being explicitly talked about in great detail, because I know that can upset a lot of you. So use precaution. I've warned you. You continue to listen to this. So I guess that's everything. So let's get started. Izuku watched the teen that was facing a wall in Nezu's office. He'd been brought in a few minutes ago and he didn't seem very sociable. Nezu puttered around, setting up some sort of camera. Aizawa and Present Mike were seated nearby. Finally, Nezu finished. "Amajiki-kun, please, turn around." The teen complied, but kept his eyes on the floor. "All right, let's get started. Midoriya-kun, this is Amajiki Tamaki. He is a second-year student here at UA. I would like you to guess what his quirk is." "I can't do that," Izuku protested. "Please, try," Nezu insisted. "If you can't guess his quirk, tell me anything else you can tell by looking at him." Izuku frowned, but appraised the boy in front of him. He seemed to cower under the scrutiny. Why would I know his quirk? I only know people's quirks because I've seen them in action. I've seen clips of Midnight. Of course I know her quirk. And sure, maybe I didn't hear Nezu talk, but he was wearing a suit, damn it. I can't even tell what species he is. That's quirk-worthy. How am I supposed to know how his transformation quirk works exactly if I don't see him use it first? Izuku snapped, causing the boy to flinch. Nezu's nose twitched. No one said he had a transformation quirk, Midoriya-kun. Izuku's mind shorted out. Can you tell me anything else?" Nezu asked, smiling. Izuku looked at the boy again, maybe a little more open to this exercise than he was a second ago. He's stronger than Aizawa, Izuku realized, a little in awe of the teen. "Hurts, don't it?" Present Mike teased Aizawa. "Can you elaborate on that?" Nezu prompted. "His speed and technique are of the same levels, but his power is through the roof," Izuku said, stumbling. "Power and what?" Nezu asked, not willing to let the slip-up go. "I don't like to mention that class. It seems rude," Izuku answered. "For my evaluation, please," Nezu insisted. "Intelligence," Izuku cringed. "Interesting," Nezu grinned. "You seem to be able to determine surface-level traits just by looking at a person. Both traits determined by one's quirk and traits that are independent of quirks. Isn't that obvious to everyone?" Izuku asked, a little unnerved. "Not really, no," Aizawa spoke up. "And they certainly don't get that by looking at an unmoving person who appears to be seconds away from vomiting on the floor." "Oh my! Amajiki-kun, are you okay? Would you like some tea?" Nezu asked, noting the appearance of his anxious student. Amajiki nodded. After making Amajiki a cup of peppermint tea, Nezu turned to Izuku. "While Amajiki is recovering, I have a few tests we can do without him, starting with this." "A mirror?" Izuku asked, looking at the item Nezu pulled from behind his desk. "Yes! Look at yourself in the mirror. Tell me what you can." Nezu smiled. "Nothing. I'm quirkless." Nezu gave him a thoughtful look. "I'm going to have another student come in. I want you to keep your eyes closed until I say to open them. I will have them stand next to you. When I tell you to open them, look at them in the mirror. Do not turn to look at them. Nezu instructed. Izuku complied and waited. He heard the door open and then, "Togata-kun, please stand here." "Face the mirror." "Thank you. Midoriya-kun, you can open your eyes." In the mirror stood a teen that looked suspiciously like a young All Might. Izuku resisted the urge to turn and look at him. "What can you tell me about Togata-kun?" Nezu asked, motioning to the teen in the mirror. Izuku frowned because for the first time he got the same air from this Togata that he got from himself. When he caught his reflection, "There's nothing," Izuku admitted after a few minutes. "Fascinating," Nezu commented. "Try turning to face Togata-kun and try again." When Izuku turned to face the boy in question, the taller teen beamed at him and waved, just like All Might. Slowly, with a fuzzy feeling, the air around the teen changed. "Another transformation quirk," Izuku observed, disappointed that Togata hadn't been like him after all. "Whoa, amazing! You can tell that just by looking at me?" Togata asked excitedly. Nezu gave Aizawa a look, nose twitching. "If you don't mind, Midoriya-kun, I have a video here that I'd like you to watch," Nezu said, moving to his desk and pushing a button. A screen came down from God knows where. What a high-tech office. It's a clip of one of our teachers, Ectoplasm. During a training exercise, "Please tell me what you can observe," Nezu instructed, picking up a remote to start the video. A man in a trench coat and some sort of headpiece that covered his entire face. He vaguely recognized this person as a pro-hero, but he couldn't recall much. He must not have been in the news too much. "Emitter type, Quirk," Izuku mumbled. "Decent and equal power and speed, high-level technique." The room stayed quiet as Izuku processed what he was seeing. Then the training exercise started and things got fuzzy. He didn't even realize he was speaking aloud as his mind went blank. Quirk enabled the user to shoot a stream of assumed ectoplasm out of his mouth that can form into clones of himself. The stability of the clones is high, only able to be dispelled by strong, direct contact hits or the user themselves. They will not dissolve on their own and can therefore be trusted to carry out most tasks. The user has a creation limit, undetermined. Potential to create a single giant clone with proper quirk control. If the user were to... The screen was switched off, and Izuku came back to himself slowly. He frowned at the blank screen and then looked around the room. Everyone was staring at him with varying levels of interest and excitement. "What? Do you recall what you just said?" Nezu asked calmly. I was supposed to watch a video? Are we not doing that?" "But you did!" Togata exclaimed. "Don't you remember?" "No, I didn't. Nezu was just about to show me," Izuku insisted, growing defensive. "I just saw the beginning and then it stopped." "Oh my," Nezu said softly. "Well, that explains a lot, at least." "Explains what?" Izuku snapped. President Mike stood up and walked over to Izuku. "It's okay, little listener. You know your notebooks?" Izuku nodded, apprehensive. "How do you decide what to write in them?" "I don't. I just write what I see when watching clips or seeing people use their quirks in public," Izuku replied. "Then I add more later, after I've done some research." "Okay, so what you write initially, it just kind of happens?" President Mike clarified. "Yeah, I guess," Izuku responded. "Do you remember the clip or the person using their quirk immediately after?" President Mike asked, clearly hinting at something. "Not really, no. If it's a video, I just replay it. I usually remember it then, mostly," Izuku explained hesitantly. "Mostly?" President Mike prompted. Sometimes things get fuzzy for a little bit, Izuku admitted. Do you lose time often? Nezu asked, looking a bit more concerned. I don't know if I'd say often. Maybe a few times a day, usually for less than a minute, Izuku said, growing uncomfortable with this line of questioning. I have 2 more tests I'd like to try today. Do you feel up to it, Midoriya-kun? Nezu asked, giving him an out. Izuku looked over to Aizawa. It's up to you, kid. He shrugged, the corner of his lip quirked up in a half-smile. Izuku guessed it was meant to be reassuring. It kind of was. I guess so, Izuku answered. This time, I'm giving you some paper to write on, Nezu declared. Izuku watched as the principal fiddled with the camera he had set up earlier, connecting it to the TV. When he was done, he handed Izuku a clipboard of writing paper and pen. Ready? Izuku nodded. This time, the video was of the office and everyone in it. Nezu fast-forwarded to the part with the ectoplasm video. Izuku poised his pen, although he was unsure what he should be looking for. His attention was drawn to himself. He had a different air than what he usually sensed in his reflection. Then his eyes glazed over in the video. What do you think? Nezu asked abruptly. Izuku blinked, confused. The video had stopped. This shit again. Of what? Izuku asked, looking at the rodent-like creature with thinly masked irritation. Of your analysis, Nezu said, motioning to the clipboard in Izuku's hand. He looked down at the previously blank page that was now half-filled. Midoriya Izuku, mutant-type Quirk. Quirk name, undetermined. Quirk enables the user to determine the physical and mental capabilities, strengths, and weaknesses of another individual. When another individual's quirk is not active or obvious, observations are limited to core physical traits. Information regarding these traits is typically observed passively and dismissed unless focused on. Reflections do not return results. When another individual's quirk is obvious, physical mutation, or active, deep analysis on quirk abilities can be performed. Since the user has a mutant-type quirk, this cannot be turned off and is often involuntary. A negative effect of deep analysis is the high amount of brain power it requires. Non-essential brain functions such as awareness are temporarily paused while new information is observed and evaluated. Repeat exposure to a single quirk decreases the extent to which deep analysis takes effect. The user could combat this paused state with brain training exercises and proper quirk control. Izuku stared in shock. What the fuck? Hey everyone, it's Tempe again. That's the end of this chapter, and if you liked this, please follow the links in the description to go to the original work and support the author. If you liked this, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If you have any suggestions for fanfictions or how to make this better, please leave a comment, or you can send the suggestion to my email in the description. Alright, thanks guys. See you next time. Bye.